Hi guys, today I will tell you what smoking is and what its history is. Oh, catch the speed too. And its effects on human body. So let's start our video step by step. So friends, step number 1, smoking. Smoking is a practice in which a substance is burned and the resulting smoke is breathed in to be tasted and absorbed into the bloodstream. Most commonly, the substance used is the dried leaves of the tobacco plant, which have been rolled into a small rectangle of rolling paper to create a small round cylinder called a cigarette. Smoking is primarily practiced as a route of administration for recreational drug use because the combustion of the dried plant leaves vaporizes and delivers active substances into the lungs where they are rapidly absorbed into the bloodstream and reach bodily tissue. In the case of cigarette smoking, these substances are contained in a mixture of aerosol particles and gases and include the pharmacological active alkaloid nicotine. The vaporization creates heated aerosol and gas into a form that allows inhalation and deep penetration into the lungs where absorption into the bloodstream of the active substances occurs. In some cultures, smoking is also carried out as a part of various rituals where participants use it to help induce trance-like states that they believe can lead them to spiritual enlightenment. Smoking is one of the most common forms of recreational drug use. Tobacco smoking is the most popular form, being practiced by over 1 billion people globally, of whom the majority are in the developing countries like Pakistan and etc. Less common drugs for smoking include cannabis and opium. Some of the substances are classified as hard narcotics like heroin, but the use of these is very limited as they are usually not commercially available. Cigarettes are primarily industrially manufactured but also can be hand rolled from loose tobacco and rolling paper. Other smoking implements include pipes, cigars, bidets, hookahs, and bongs. Smoking can be dated to as early as 5000 BC and has been recorded in many different cultures across the world. Early smoking evolved in association with religious ceremonies as offerings to deities, in cleansing rituals, or to allow shamans and priests to alter their minds for purposes of divination or spiritual enlightenment. After the European exploration and conquest of the Americas, the practice of smoking tobacco quickly spread to the rest of the world. In regions like India and sub-Saharan Africa, it merged with the existing practices of smoking, mostly of cannabis. In Europe, it introduced a new type of social activity and a form of drug intake which previously had been unknown. Perception surrounding smoking has varied over time and from one place to another. Holy and sinful, sophisticated and vulgar, a panacea and deadly health hazard. In the last decade of the 20th century, smoking came to be viewed in a decidedly negative light. Oh, thank God. Especially in Western countries. Smoking generally has negative health effects because smoke inhalation inherently poses challenges to various physiologic processes such as respiration. Smoking tobacco is among the leading causes of many diseases such as lung cancer, heart attack, COPD, erectile dysfunction, and birth defects. Diseases related to tobacco smoking have been shown to kill approximately half of long-term smokers when compared to average mortality rates faced by non-smokers. Smoking caused over 5 million deaths a year from 1990 to 2015, and now you can think. The health hazards of smoking have caused many countries to institute high taxes on tobacco products, publish advertisements to discourage use, limit advertisements that promote use, and provide help with quitting for those who do smoking. So, friends, now I will tell you the history. Step number 2, history. The history of smoking dates back to as early as 5000 BCE for shamanistic rituals. Many ancient civilizations, such as the Babylonians, Indians, and Chinese, burned incense as a part of religious rituals, as did the Israelites and the later Catholic and Orthodox Christian churches. Smoking in the Americas probably had its origins in the incense burning ceremonies of shamans, but was later adopted for pleasure or as a social tool. The smoking of tobacco as well as various hallucinogenic drugs was used to achieve trances and to come into contact with the spirit world. Substances such as cannabis, clarified butter, fish offal, dried snake skins, and various pastes molded around incense sticks dates back at least 2000 years. This is for your knowledge. Fumigation and fire offerings are prescribed in the Ayurveda for medical purposes and have been practiced for at least 3000 years while smoking. Dhamrapana, drinking smoke, literally, has been practiced for at least 2000 years before modern times. These substances have been consumed through pipes with stems of various lengths or cylinders. Very nice. Cannabis smoking was common in the Middle East before the arrival of tobacco and was early on a common social activity that centered around a type of water pipe called a hookah. I hope you have seen it. Smoking, especially after the introduction of tobacco, was an essential component of Muslim society and culture and became integrated with important traditions such as weddings, funerals, and was expressed in architecture, clothing, literature, and friends, it is very shocking, poetry. Cannabis smoking was introduced to sub-Saharan Africa through Ethiopia and the East African coast by either Indian or Arab traders in the 13th century or earlier and spread on the same trade routes as those that carried coffee, which originated in the highlands of Ethiopia. It was smoked in calabash water pipes with terracotta smoking bowls, apparently an Ethiopian invention which was later conveyed to Eastern, Southern, and Central Africa. Reports from the first European explorers and conquistadors to reach the Americas tell of rituals where native priests smoked themselves into such high degrees of intoxication that it is unlikely that the rituals were limited to just tobacco. So this was the history of smoking. Step number 3 is the effects of smoking on human body or human health. Smoking is one of the leading causes of preventable death globally and is the cause of 15% of all deaths. In the United States, about 5 lakh deaths per year are attributed to smoking related diseases, and a recent study estimated that as much as 1/3 of China's male population will have significantly shortened lifespans due to smoking. Wow, this is very sad. Male and female smokers lose an average of 13.2 and 14.5 years of life, respectively. At least half of all lifelong smokers die earlier as a result of smoking. The risk of dying from lung cancer before age 85 is 22.1% for a male smoker and 11.9% for a female current smoker. In this absence of competing causes of death, the corresponding estimates for lifelong non-smokers are a 1.1% probability of dying from lung cancer before age 85 for a man of European descent and a 0.8% probability for a woman. Smoking just one cigarette a day results in a risk of coronary heart disease that is halfway between that of a heavy smoker and a non-smoker. Among the diseases that can be caused by smoking are vascular stenosis, lung cancer, heart attacks, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Smoking during pregnancy may cause ADHD to a fetus. Smoking is a risk factor strongly associated with periodontitis and tooth loss. The effects of smoking on periodontal tissues depend on the number of cigarettes smoked daily and the duration of the habit. A study showed that smokers had 2.7 times and former smokers 2.3 times greater probabilities to have established periodontal disease than non-smokers, independent of age, gender, and plaque index. However, the effect of tobacco on periodontal tissues seems to be more pronounced in men than in women. Studies have found that smokers and greater odds for more severe dental bone loss compared to non-smokers. Also, people who smoke and drink alcohol heavily have much higher risk of developing oral cancer like mouth and lip compared with people who do neither. Smoking can also cause melanosis in the mouth. Smoking has been also associated with oral conditions including dental caries, dental implant failures, premalignant lesions, and cancer. Smoking can affect the immune inflammatory processes, which may increase the susceptibility to infections. It can alter the oral microbiota and facilitate colonization of the oral cavity with fungi and pathogenic molds. Many governments are trying to deter people from smoking with anti-smoking campaigns in mass media stressing the harmful long-term effects of smoking. Passive smoking or second-hand smoking, which affects people in the immediate vicinity of smokers, is a major reason for the enforcement of smoking bans. These are laws enforced to stop individuals from smoking in indoor public places such as bars, pubs, and restaurants, thus reducing non-smokers' exposure to second-hand smoke. A common concern among legislators is to discourage smoking among minors, and many states have passed laws against selling tobacco products to underage customers, establishing a smoking age. Many developing countries have not adopted any anti-smoking policies, leading some to call for anti-smoking campaigns and further education to explain the negative effects of areas. Its abbreviation is environmental tobacco smoke. In developing countries, tobacco advertising is also sometimes regulated to make smoking less appealing. In May 2016, the state of California passed legislation raising the smoking age from 18 to 21. This law also includes the sale of electronic cigarettes. Despite the main bans, European countries still hold 18 of the top 20 spots, and according to the ERC, a market research company, the heaviest smokers are from Greece, averaging 3,000 cigarettes per person in 2007. Rates of smoking have leveled off or declined in the developed world but continue to rise in developing countries. Smoking rates in the United States have dropped by half from 1965 to 2006, falling from 4.2% to 0.8% in adults. The effects of addiction on society vary considerably between different substances that can be smoked and the indirect social problems that they cause, in great part because of the differences in legislation and the enforcement of narcotics legislation around the world. Though nicotine is a highly addictive drug, its effects on cognition are not as intense or noticeable as other drugs such as cocaine, amphetamines, or any of the opiates, including heroin and morphine. Smoking is a risk factor in Alzheimer's disease, while smoking more than 15 cigarettes per day has been shown to worsen the symptoms of Crohn's disease. Smoking has been shown to actually lower the prevalence of ulcerative colitis. Smokers are 30 to 40% more likely to develop type 2 diabetes than non-smokers, and the risk increases with the number of cigarettes smoked. So friends, this was our video. If you think that this video was a little bit informative, then please press the button of like and also subscribe. And if you think that this video should be in Urdu, then we can get more information easier. So the link is in the description. You can check it out. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Be safe and sound. Goodbye.